Hi, I'm Tricia at Club Scrap, and this is Club Scrap's In Bloom page kit tutorial. I can't wait to show you how all of this gets assembled into 8 beautiful scrapbook pages, lickety-split. Here we have the collection, which contains some beautiful ribbon, just gorgeous Petersham, and then this frayed edge grosgrain, and some a 2-yard length of this beautiful pink chiffon. And in addition, we've got some cool, larger, highly detailed silver charms here. And while they didn't come in the kit, I recommend if you just happen to have some silver mini brads in your stash to grab those, that they work really well for attaching these little charms to your pages. And then we also have these beautiful flower gems. Each gem contains a little rhinestone in the center. We have them in a soft pink, a purple, and a yellow. Of course, you have your pre-cut photo mats, and then a package of really cool postage-shaped botanical stickers. And this thing is loaded. I can hardly even get them out of there. So we'll be doing something special with these, which requires a little bit of focused cutting skill. And here we've got our paper pack with our cut aparts. So I think we'll start out by sorting through our photo mats and getting those filed in our accordion pocket file. So if you're new here, make sure you get access to the instructions for how to make this accordion pocket file, and that is available to you if you are a Club Scrap member. So if you're not a member, join us today. Okay, so I've got my instructions, and let's just check out where these photo mats are going to be used. So we've got a pack, let's see, let's take 3 of the pink photo mats, and we'll put those in the pocket for layouts 1 and 2. 3 white photo mats will go into the pocket for layouts 3 and 4. And 3 purple photo mats will be used in layouts 5 and 6. And finally, 3 green photo mats going into 7 and 8. Well, that was easy. Next, let's get our papers sorted in the order in which we'll be using them. So we're going to begin by looking at page 2 of our instructions. It looks like the first piece we will trim will be a green plain. And I believe that we trim only plain colors this time. So grab 1 green plain, and then 1 pink plain, 1 yellow plain. We're going to trim 1 of each color, I believe. 1 yellow plain will be next, and finally 1 purple plain. And then take the sheet of cut aparts with the border strips on it. That will be next to be trimmed. And there should be 1 other cut apart with other sized objects. And then we will look at what is used as the base for layout 8, which is yellow. Layout 7 will use this beautiful yellow floral print. Then we're going to use one of the pink floral prints, followed by a pink plain. And working our way backwards, we're going to go back and grab another one of those yellow florals, and a green, a purple, and lastly this beautiful pink print. Okay. I'm going to flip that whole stack back over so that the green is right on top, and let's get going on our trimming for these papers. So what we'll do is trim and file as we go, and be sure to let all of the papers just pile up next to the trimmer base as you're cutting, so that the papers remain in the order that they landed, so that we don't get confused. All right, so the first cut we'll make on that green is at 11.5. Then slide down to 9.5. And finally 6. Once you've done your 6-inch cut, we'll rotate and do the classic. Okay, we're going to cut this horizontally at 8 and 4. Take all 3 of those 4x6s we just created, and we're going to file those in the pocket for layouts 1 and 2. Then we have a narrower strip here. Let's trim this horizontally at 8 and 4 also. We'll take 2 of these rectangles and put them in the pocket for 3 and 4, and then 1 of them will go in 7 and 8. Next we have this 2x12 inch strip. Let's trim on all the even numbers to create a set of 2x2 inch squares. So 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Alright, gather up those little squares. We're going to put 3 of them in pocket 1 and 2, and 3 of them in 5 and 6. Lastly, there's this narrow strip. We'll use that in 7 and 8. And moving right along to the pink plain. We're going to make some really narrow cuts here, and that's good. We want to use every last piece of this paper. So we're going to trim first at 11 3/4, and then 11 1/2, 10 1/4, 8 1/2, 6 1/4, and 3 1/2. Wow, that was quite a few cuts. Take the 3 1/2 inch piece and rotate. We're going to cut horizontally at 10 1/4, 8, and 4. All right, take these two rectangles, we'll put them in 5 and 6. Then pick up the very next piece. This will go in 1 and 2. And then there's this smaller piece. This is actually a scrap and will not be used. Then we have a wider border strip here that's going to go in 3 and 4. And now we have a 2 1/4 inch piece. These will be trimmed into various shapes, so follow along up with these numbers. The first one, 11 1/2, 9, 6 3/4, 4 1/2, and 2 1/4. So what you're going to have is a series of pieces that are the same size and one that's slightly larger. So here we have 4 squares. All 4 of them go in pocket 1 and 2. And then this more rectangular one also goes in 1 and 2. Maybe just keep it separate so you don't get confused by it. And there will be a tiny little scrap left over. Now we have a strip next in our stack that will go in 1 and 2. Slightly narrower strip goes in 5 and 6. And then you have 2 really skinny guys. One of them goes in 3 and 4, and the other 5 and 6. You'll have to excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold I'm getting over after being on our cruise. Seems to be par for the course. All right, now we're going to go on to the yellow plain. So first cut will be at 10 3/4. Then 8 1/2. And 6. Now do your rotation and cut at 8 and 4. Take all 3 of the 4x6s and file them in pocket 5 and 6. Then you have a wider piece here on the top of the pile that goes in 3 and 4, and the slightly narrower piece will be in 7 and 8. Now this last piece, we are going to make some cuts that you might not love me for, but you can do it. We just need to make 3 rectangles because the size of the rectangle that we're going to make will actually fit these postage stamp stickers perfectly. So just bear with me. Our first cut will be at 10 3/8. So if you're looking for that, it's halfway between 10 1/4 and 10 1/2. We have 10 3/8. Nice easy one next, 8 3/4, and then 7 1/8. So I just go halfway between 7 and 7 1/4 to find 7 1/8. So if you take these oddly shaped pieces, they're 1 1/4 by 1 5/8, you'll notice that the sticker will fit perfectly on top of this size piece, which is why I'm going to the trouble of cutting in these ridiculous measurements that most people don't like. All right, so all 3 of these yellow rectangles will be placed in pockets 7 and 8. And this, my friends, is another scrap. We're going to cut a lot more of that size out of the purple. So just bear with me. Our first cut will be at 10 3/8. That's going to be halfway between 10 1/4 and 10 1/2. Then 8 3/4. 8 1/2. So we're going to take a tiny little strip out of that. 7 1/4. And 6. Once again, we'll rotate so that we cut at 8 and 4. And these 3 pieces will be filed in pocket 3 and 4. Okay, now we have this long strip. We're going to cut it. Once again, slightly odd measurements, not too bad. 11 7/8. So we're literally taking 1/8 of an inch off the end. And then 10 1/4. This 10 1/4 inch piece will be placed in pocket 1 and 2. And then here we have another mat for a postage sticker. This will go in 5 and 6. All right, now I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm kidding. This is a scrap. Set that aside. Now, there's gonna be another narrower piece that's still 12 inches long. This should be 1 1/4. We're gonna file this in 3 and 4. Then there's another really super narrow piece that will also be used in 3 and 4. The remaining 2 strips are exactly 1 5/8 inch wide, which is the width we need for that sticker. We're going to trim both strips the same exact way into 1 1/4 inch width pieces. And it should be pretty easy. Just follow along with the numbers. These are all numbers you're used to. So 11 1/4. That first cut is going to create 2 scraps. You can set those aside. All right, then 10, 8 3/4, 7 1/2, 6 1/4, 5, 3 3/4, 2 1/2, 1 1/4. And if you want to see a little better, you can bring that closer to you. Okay, now we made this huge pile of all these postage sticker mats. It's just really going to help them pop off the page. And let's just deal them out. We're going to take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those will go in 1 and 2. Then I'm going to take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those will go in 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go in 5 and 6. And then we should have 1, 2, 3 left for 7 and 8. Okay, we're moving back now to page 1, and I'm going to trim these cut aparts into individual strips so that we can file them appropriately according to the diagram that is in your instructions. The registration marks that you'll see on the edge of your print are extremely faded. If there's any doubt, we'll place it in with the word memories in the lower right, and our first cut will be at 11 inches. And 10 inches. 8 1/2. 7. 5. And 3. All right, what I like to do is carefully, without disturbing the order, pick up the items that have fallen, stack them up, and you can deal them out easily. So this 10 things goes in 5 and 6. Then we have the Lily of the Valley border strip, 7 and 8. Believe, 3 and 4. Life is Better, 7 and 8. We have some Crocus, 1 and 2. And then we have this non-text strip, 5 and 6. And then Treasured Memories will go in 3 and 4. Again, if I'm too fast there, just go ahead and consult your instruction document or push pause or rewind, whatever you need to do. And now we'll move on to this other sheet of cut aparts. Placing it into the trimmer base so that this moment is just right will be on the far right. These I can see a little bit better. This large cut apart will go in 1 and 2, and then pick up the next one. You'll separate these into 3 individual elements. Okay, so this planter will go in 5 and 6. Every day has a story to be told. I ended up using this plain side up, so flip it over and place it in 3 and 4. And the smaller Time to Bloom is in 7 and 8. All right, the Lily of the Valley will go in 7 and 8. We have a purple journaling prompt in 5 and 6, a green in 7 and 8, the pink in 1 and 2, Flower Power 5 and 6. Count Your Blossoms. That's so sweet. I really like this. That goes in 7 and 8. And then this little planter goes in also 7 and 8. Love, 7 and 8. And then Joy, 1 and 2. Okay, let's file these. Find Beauty in Every Day. That's 3 and 4. Shout Out to All the Plants Growing Through the Concrete, 7 and 8. Let Your Dreams Blossom, 1 and 2. Date and Place, 3 and 4, both of them. And then we have one more strip just to clip off the end here. And the wider piece, this moment, goes in 1 and 2. And then we have this little purple guy, Flowers Are Love's Truest Language, 3 and 4. Well, that concludes our trimmings. Now let's do some dry fit assembly. We'll take everything out of pockets 7 and 8 and begin with the yellow plain right in front of us. And we're going to turn in our instructions to the very last page, to the very last image. So that's going to be page 4. And here is the base for layout 8 with all the items on it. So let's see if we can dry fit what we have in our stash here to fit onto this yellow base paper. So we'll begin with 2 green vertical photo mats. And we can also, across the bottom, it looks like we're going to be using a narrow border strip here along with Life is Better With You. All right, and then across I ran some of this green ribbon. So I'll just pre-trim that. Once the ribbon was attached, I added a little bow right to the ribbon, just tied on a smaller piece. And then It's Your Time to Bloom will kind of anchor down over here on the narrow strip. On the right side of the photo mats, we're going to add kind of a little mini collage. We've got the word love, and then this other, and look at the height here. This is a little higher. It's a little bit wider if you look at the bottom edge and the top edge here. So what I did is just shade a little bit off of the love to make it more of a square, and then it just nestles in there beautifully. That's, you know, matter of personal preference. Now 3 of these purple mats are going to live on here. And what you can do is choose your favorite postage stickers if you just kind of empty the box. It's really a big handful. And pick colors or objects that you like to go onto the page. Maybe I'll use a green bunny. And how about a bumblebee? Whatever you want. There's just a wonderful assortment right here in this little box. And then finally, we'll attach this with some of our foam adhesive circles, which I love, love, love. And then just tuck behind it one of these silver charms here, and another one can be balanced out here, maybe slightly overlapping onto the photo mat if you like. So here is that finished layout with everything adhered. So this one and this one I attached with foam adhesive circles. That way I could tuck that charm behind the postage stamp. And here is the little knot added onto the ribbon. Okay, so that is layout 8. We'll set this aside and grab the base for layout 7. We will start with the Lily of the Valley border strip nested onto one of the yellow strips. And I didn't want to cover up this little tulip here, so I just have it slightly to the right of that. And then we'll add a horizontal green mat and the smaller rectangle. Here we have a Lily of the Valley image with a quote, so let's tuck that right in there. And then across the top we'll take 3 of our yellow sticker mats, and you can again choose any images that you like to go on top of those. There's lots to choose from. And then if you take another piece of the green ribbon and just tie it around the Count Your Blossoms quote, that'll be super cute, and that will go right into the lower right corner. On my finished sample, I did shave a little bit off of this cut apart so that it would be 3.5 inches tall to match the green piece I'm putting right next to it. All of my type A folks out there will appreciate that. Okay, then we have this green journaling prompt. I'll tuck that behind this cut apart and finish that off with 3 of those yellow gems with the little rhinestones in the center. And to attach those, you'll have most success with the bookbinding glue added to a needle tip applicator. Let me show you the finished layout. Oh, there's one other thing I did do. Here's the shout out strip, and I just folded a piece of the ribbon in half and stapled it to the left edge. If you want, you can round those outside corners as well. And here is the finished page with all of those little details: the gems, the bow, the stapled ribbon, and my postage stamps on those little yellow mats. Very nice. All right, let's move on to the next pair of pages. So we'll empty everything from pocket 5 and 6 and get our pink floral plain ready to go as our base. Let's begin on the upper half. We've got a border strip running across here that will be nested. So the pink comes first, and then we have our strip that doesn't have any text on it. We'll go across the top here, and we'll anchor that with 2 pink photo mats. Then if you take a purple, this is the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and we can nest our 4 by 6 yellow on top. Get a really nice spot for a vertical photo mat here. Then there's this beautiful white fringe edged ribbon. So I'll take a piece of that measuring just over 12 inches long. I want to have enough tail of this to wrap it behind my layout. So I'll just trim that, and that will tuck here to kind of make a border across the bottom. And you can accent that with one of these 1/4 inch pink strips. Now we have this big blank area right here. So let's fill that in with some cut aparts. So we've got this little planter here of flowers, and then we're going to take 3 of those postage sticker mats. And again, you can just choose whatever stickers you would like to go into that spot. Let's take some, that's very sweet. And then right over here, we'll take that Flower Power sentiment. Now, we've got all of this beautiful yardage of the chiffon. So for this cut apart, I simply tied a little bow onto it with the chiffon, and being that it's, I think it's like 1.5 inches wide, it really is kind of eye-catching. If you want, you can fold the ribbon in half and cut it V, or cut at an angle to create a little swallow's tail. Very sweet. And that should wrap up everything for this layout. Here is all of the finished items. Oh, with the 3 really sweet postage stamps I chose for this, the butterfly, the squirrel, and the deer. Okay, moving on to layout 5. The base will be pink, and we'll just start right away with this nice large strip, 10 Things I Love About You. So it's a great little journaling cue. Should be pretty easy to complete if you really love this person that you're gonna showcase on this layout. I think this kit would be wonderful for babies, weddings, anything this summer, Easter. Okay, and then we have 3 green squares we'll put along the left edge here. Add a journaling prompt down at the bottom, and then 3 more postage stickers. So we got the mats, and we can choose anything we like. Very nice. If you'd like, you can trim a small piece of this frayed edge ribbon and fold it in half and staple it to the top of each one of these postage mats. And I'll show you that on the finished layout. Here they are. Really sweet little finishing touch for this layout. I'll take everything out of the pocket for 3 and 4. Make sure you get all those little tiny pieces out of the pocket so you don't get confused. And our base is this beautiful yellow floral print. As usual, I do like to create some anchoring here. So let's take a border strip that says Treasured Memories, and then just nest it onto the purple and put it along the bottom edge of the layout. And then you can accent that by adding just a little bit of pink, just a touch of it to the layout. Then across the bottom, we'll add 3 more postage stickers. 1, 2, 3. And on top of that, you can find a little cut apart that says Flowers Are Love's Truest Language. That can go in here and accent all of this with one of those silver flower charms. Okay, so let's match up one of the white photo mats with a purple 4 by 6. That'll be vertical on this side. And then you can finish with 2 green mats. Once again, if you want to keep that tulip visible. Now on the right edge, we can add the date and the place and accent the little dot on these with 2 of the floral gems. You can use the pink or you can use the purple. And here's the finished layout. I did the same trick before where I used some foam adhesive to attach this cut apart, and then I slid the silver charm behind it just as a little complement to it. Here are my gems that are glued on with our bookbinding glue. All the rest of these pieces should fit onto the green base for layout 3. we've got a triple matte situation going on here. So I've got pink first, and then yellow, and then our border strip. In addition, we can take a little piece of this purple, so when we attach the white strip, we'll have a space here that we can go ahead and kind of add another purple element as well. Boy, that really looks nice. Okay, then a purple nested with white can go right into the strip here, and then beneath that a second horizontal mat that's nested. And here comes a nice tall piece, and this is the plain side of that one. You can do it print side up, but I just felt I had a lot going on here, so that's why I chose not to do that. And finish with two more postage stickers and 2 more silver charms. Let's take a look at the finished page. Here we have those charms added again with the silver brad from my stash. Works perfectly. Just pierce a little hole through there with a paper piercing tool and a cork board, and then you can easily add this. Or if you don't have brads, just glue them on like you would with all the other charms in the collection. All right, we'll start layout 2 with this purple base and nice large cut apart here, and we'll add this pink piece to the cut apart. What I liked to do here was take, again, this gigantic piece of ribbon and just go all the way around the whole works. Not only that, but leave enough ribbon to tie an actual bow, which I know for some of you that's probably not your favorite thing. It's bow tying. But it really will look beautiful on this. So if you want to begin by making a double knot, or grab a third party to help you with this. I know some people just really struggle making bows. I guess I'm one of them. And then make your loop just like you're tying your shoes. Nothing fancy here. Shorten those loops. And I like to once again fold the ribbon in half and trim away from the knot, angling away from the knot so that you make a cute little V. Oh, isn't that sweet? Okay, so there is our highlight of the page. Now we have this one that's a rectangle that's going to go on page 1, so set that aside, and we'll take these other squares and line them up. Okay, now we can nest a green onto the pink. That'll go here. And we'll anchor all of that with this border strip nested onto a piece of pink. It should fit perfectly. And that'll go under here. All right, and why not? Because we have them. We'll take our 3 purple postage sticker mats and 3 postage stickers. Here we have a joy that should fit right in there. Perhaps a green square for that spot and one for this spot. Lastly, just let your dreams blossom can fit right in that spot. So let's take a look at the finished page. I will point out that at some point I did make an error with this pink. The piece that you have is going to be a little bit too short. So if you want to add some gems or disguise that in some way, you know, to kind of finish that off. I believe I had to make a correction and ended up substituting the paper, and well, long story short, your piece will be this size, not this size. Here I have the gems placed here and here for a nice finished look. Okay, let me set this aside and we'll grab the base for layout 1. All right, all the rest of the pieces from our pocket should fit, beginning with this longer, narrower strip will fit onto the 10 1/4 purple piece. We can marry up a pink photo mat with a green mat twice. I'm gonna go here, and if you want to angle these, you could certainly do that. All right, now this is where that rectangle was cut to match the same width as the journaling prompt, and then we have room for 2 more sticker mats at the top, and you can pick your favorite stickers to finish off the page. Perhaps one little gem can go right into that spot, designed just for you. Isn't that sweet? That, my friends, is layout number 1 and the final in the set. I really hope you like the In Bloom collection, and if you like this art style, consider picking up the card kit as well. I have a full-length video tutorial for you to make 12 gorgeous cards with the In Bloom collection. I'll see you back here next month.